Hello everyone and welcome to Veterans Field, the site of tonight's pre-game Kettle Talk. I'm Matt Liberman alongside Matt McHugh, and Matt, the team coming off a loss, a 5-3 loss to Bourne. This puts them at third for the first time in the last 2 weeks. They are right in the heat of things in the West Division. 3 teams tied with 33 points. What do they need to do to separate themselves and get back to first in the division?
Well, we've said it all season long. This is a streaky team. We've seen them rip off a few games in a row and then kind of fall back and drop a few here and there. So I think right now they're still just around 500. It's a fine place to be, like you said, in the thick of it for first place. And like we saw last night, the big key is just going to be avoiding that one big inning that really gets to them. A 4-run fifth last night in Bourne, and in a 5-3 loss, that's what did it in for them.
Yes, that certainly was the difference in last night's loss. And tonight, Cotuit here to take on Chatham, a battle of third-place teams. Cotuit third in the West and Chatham third in the East. Chatham 2 wins against Cotuit this season and Cotuit none against Chatham. What needs to be done tonight in order to get the win?
Well, I think it's going to be a big night for Chase Sugar, making his first start of the season. Right-hander out of Texas. He's been great out of the bullpen. He's tied for the team lead with 3 saves. Coming in, throwing almost 97 miles an hour with the fastball, a nice slider as well. He's a very, very valuable piece to this team out of the bullpen. And well, now with some innings limits, some guys leaving the starting rotation, he's in a big spot tonight with the start. If he can keep the pitch count down, give them maybe 4, even 5 solid innings, that would just be absolutely huge for this team, put him in a good place to win.
And it's something that we've seen coming off of Cotuit losses in the past this season. We see a lineup change. Miles Lewis in left field tonight and John Cresto back in the lineup doing the designated hitting duties. What do you think that they will contribute, and why do you think that Coach Roberts made the change?
Well, the team's offense stalled a bit last night. They scored 3 runs in the first 4 innings, then held scoreless in the rest of the game. So I think we've seen some guys shuffled around the lineup. A lot of guys who probably deserve everyday playing time, but there's just only 9 guys you can get in there at a time. So just trying to find a guy who can get hot at the right time. We're seeing that now with Terrin Vavra in the cleanup spot again today. He's come on really strong, found himself a home in the lineup, and well, guys like Miles Lewis and John Cresto, they'll have an opportunity to do that as well tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned Terrin Vavra just became the 3rd player for Cotuit right now to be above the 300 mark in batting average. And speaking of him as well, he's standing with Biernat of our own Cotuit Kettleers.
Thank you, Matt. Now, Terrin, I know you probably don't want to relive it, but you got off to a little bit of a slow start this season due to an injury that costed you quite a bit of time in the beginning of this season. You know, can you kind of put into perspective of how crazy this season has been for you so far?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't ideal to kind of go through that at the beginning of the year, but obviously baseball is a game with a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances, so now that I'm back, I'm just looking for the next opportunity and get back out on the field and do whatever I can to help us win.
Now, you were back in the infield yesterday at Dorn Park. Were you glad that you were at second base as opposed to shortstop, and how did it feel to get 2 hits at the very park that did take some time away from you at the beginning of this season?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some mixed emotions being back in the field, but like I said, baseball is a game with a lot of opportunities, and it doesn't matter where we're playing, and anything like that can happen at any given time, so you can't really predict any of that. You just kind of have to play the game, and luckily I was able to have a pretty good game, put together some good at-bats, and got through it.
Now, Coach Robert often refers to you as a huge IQ player. I know your dad coaches at the major league level, and you have 2 brothers that have been drafted. How would you say that coming from a baseball family has affected and crafted the type of player that you are today?
Well, I mean, baseball's been something I've been around ever since I've been born. So just being around the game that much has really helped me grow and develop as a player. And I've seen a lot of different things happen, and you know, just as anyone has out here. And luckily for me, I have some people that rely on to get me through the tough times, and some experience to go off of. So I'm very grateful that I have them to kind of lead me.
Now, I'm sure your dad and brothers are pretty busy, but do they get the chance to look over here and check up on how you're doing in Cotuit, and do you get the chance to follow them at all?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're a pretty close-knit family, so talk to my brothers and my mom and dad pretty much every day, and yeah, they like I said, they help me through the tough times, and they get me through the good ones too. So yeah, we stay up to date with each other, and I think that really helps us be competitive with each other and keep going. So,
well, thank you, Terrin, and good luck today.
No problem.
Thanks, Carrot. Tomorrow an off day for Cotuit, but not for 5 players. Zach Cohn, Grayson Jennista, Griffin Conine, Justin Hooper, and Zane Collins all playing in the All-Star game in Wareham, and an opportunity to showcase themselves to the rest of the league and for a bunch of scouts as well. Who do you think will have the biggest impact in that game?
Yeah, I think those 5 guys will be pretty happy to not have an off day tomorrow. I'm really excited to see what Grayson Jennison can do, not only in that game, but also in the home run derby. Seeing him take batting practice today, he has so much raw power. We saw him hit one 435 feet at Lowell Park just a few days ago, and I think the home run derby is going to be a great chance for him to showcase his skills, and in the game as well, facing some live pitching, some very good pitching, he'll have a chance to really stand out and make a name for himself.
Certainly, Coach Roberts happy to have them in the All-Star game, and speaking of Coach, he's standing with Kara Biernat.
Thanks, Matt. Now, Coach, after tonight's game, we only have 1/4 left of this regular season to play. What are some things that you'd like to sharpen up on as we enter this home stretch?
Well, I think the most important thing is our pitching depth, is trying to bridge the gap between our starters and our closers. And so we talked about that last night after the ball game a little bit, and I'm going to work diligently over the weekend to try to take a look at who our starters will be in that 10-day stretch starting on Tuesday, even though we have a game on Sunday, which Mitch Stallings will pitch. And then look at our middle relievers and try to be consistent with who I bring in the ball game. And then I think we pretty well know who our late guys are, primarily with Cotuit and Byrne.
Now, I asked you a lot of on-field questions, so I'm going to move off the field for a second. You've been coaching here for quite some time. You've seen a lot of players come and go, a lot of teams. How does it feel? How cool is it to come here and watch you guys really get together and mesh at this part of the season?
That is the most fulfilling part of it, by far, is to see almost 30 guys, and some points during the season 30, that get along extremely well. They like getting together every day. They probably like to getting together in the evening too, but I don't know much about that. And that's what you work for. It's what you build for. Like today, I sent him a text David Ross talked about for the Cubs last year that I sent out to him about being a team and being humble. And so this group of guys, whatever the results may be, the last fourth of the season, as you say, we want to win. Absolutely, we strive to win every game, but I will be extremely happy in the fact that I brought young men who get along well and are the Cotuit Kettle team.
Absolutely. Now looking towards the mound tonight, you've done a little mixing and matching as the All-Star game is tomorrow, and we've had some pitching or some inning limits reached. What can you tell us about Chase Sugar, who's going to be on the mound tonight, making his first start out here with Cotuit?
Well, when I placed Hooper on the All-Star team, he could not pitch tonight, which he deserved to be on the All-Star team, even though he preferred to pitch this evening. Chase said, I hope to start next year at Texas, or at least I'm going to shoot for that with Coach Pierce. And I said, well, okay, I'll take a look, and somewhere along the line, I'll give you a start or two possibly. And I thought tonight is a good night to try that experiment because we're off tomorrow. We play Sunday, and then we're off Monday, and I think Chase's arm recovers well enough that when we start back on Tuesday, if he only goes, say, 4 or 5 at the most, which I think would be his limit, definitely, then I think he can recover quickly and go back to the bullpen if that's where we need him to be. And then he could start again toward the end of that 6-man rotation that'll start on Tuesday. So I'm excited to watch him. As Chase kind of says, I'm a Cadillac. Well, I want to see what kind of Cadillac he is tonight.
Now, to wrap things up, you did get your 300th win with Cotuit the other night, and one of the only other managers to do that in the Cape League is sitting right over there in that dugout. Now, I'm sure you do know that Coach Schiffner is retiring next year, but how fun has it been to go through all of this with him and manage against him and kind of share this milestone with him?
Well, it's been wonderful. I'm a retired state employee. John's a retired state employee in Connecticut. I'm in North Carolina. My son played for John in 1998, and they won the championship that year in 1998. So there's an awful lot of commonality. John's wife had open heart surgery just 6 months before my wife had open heart surgery. So there's a lot of commonalities on and off the field. But John's a wonderful person. He loves the game. He has brought so many good aspects to Chatham. They will miss him. You can't let a manager go out with John's credentials and plus his personality and the way people love him and they really care for him. So it's fun, and we'll kind of look at each other tonight, and we've got 2 more games unless we play each other in the playoffs today and Sunday, and we'll enjoy those.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach, and good luck today.
All right, thank you.
Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Tara. And I'm here with Sean Ellertson now. I just screwed that up. Ellertson, yes.
Still playing.
Thanks, Kara. Now I'm here with Sean Ellertson, and we like to think that Coach Roberts doesn't have all the answers. You certainly do as well. And so we're going to head into the now. Who do you think is your X factor tonight for Cotuit against Chatham?
It's not a who, I think it's a what, and I think it's the bullpen tonight. Chase Sugart's on the mound, a guy who's been strictly used out of the bullpen. We don't know how far he's going to go deep into this game. I don't think he's going to go too far. He's been used in one inning of work so far this year, so the bullpen is really going to have to pick it up for him, especially after Christian Demby last game only outlasted 2/3 of an inning.
And Sean, the bullpen certainly, like you said, Chase Sugar on the mound has to be able to do something, but would you say that is your key to the game as well?
No, I think the key to the game relies on the bats, and it's going to be John Presto and Zach Cohn, two guys who have been in and out of the lineup over these last 2 to 3 weeks, and the two guys who have really been struggling. Zach Cohn is an all-star, but has seen that batting average drop a lot in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll see if they can support the top half of the lineup in Grayson Genista and Griffin Kona.
Yeah, they certainly need to get things going if Cotuit wants to separate themselves from that mix. 3 teams in the West Division with 33 points, and Cotuit sitting third. Well, that's all we've got for pregame tonight from Veterans Field. Enjoy the game, everybody. For Sean Ellertson and Biernat and Matt McHugh, I'm Matt Liberman.